This is Excel 2016, Module 4, Part 8. We're going to be looking at the histogram chart as well as a Pareto chart. So this time we are going to again go back into our backspace worksheet, but I want you to go to the market data worksheet within that workbook. So the first time, our histogram chart is going to be created using all of the responses from our consumer survey, and it's going to be charting their annual income. There are a lot of rows, 500, that are included in that chart. So rather than dragging through that entire area, when it's a very large area of cells, we can enter the range inside the name box. Where the name box is this corner on the left corner next to the formula bar. So you're going to click in that name box and you're going to type in the range that you want to use. So it's going to start in cell E, and the heading is in row 6. Then we want to include all of the ranges of surveys. So you're going to put a colon to indicate that that is a range. And then you're going to put the last cell in the range, which is E506. When you hit enter, you will notice that it highlighted that range for you. Since that's the range we want to use for our chart, we're going to go up to the Insert. We're going to find the button in our chart group called Insert Statistic Charts. We're going to choose this first option that says histogram. Now we're going to move that chart over to our market summary. So again, we've talked about 2 ways to move the chart. We're going to use the cut and paste to do this one. So we're going to go to our Home tab, hit the cut button, and then go over to our market summary worksheet, and we're going to click in cell F4 in order to paste our chart into this worksheet. So hit paste. Then we will use our resizing handles. We want it to begin in F4 and we want it to end in M14. So we're going to scroll up and over to M. Now remember, these charts are objects that sit on top of the cells. They are not actually in the cells. So if you don't place it correctly, it can actually cover your data, and the data is still there, it would just not be visible. So the first thing we're going to do now is we are going to do some formatting to make it look like our other charts in our workbook. So we're going to click here on the chart title, and we're going to begin typing a new title that we want to be annual income. You can see that we have the new title there. What we're going to do now is we're going to change the formatting of these words. Annual income, we want them to be Calibri light. We want them to be a color accent of green, accent 6. darker 25%. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the plot area to a color of white. So I'm going to click on the plot area. Again, be careful that you click on a blank space in there. Go to the Format tab. Verify that it says plot area in your current selection. And then we're going to select a shape fill and make it white background 1. Then we're going to click on a blank space in the chart area. Make sure it says chart area in your current selection, and then change that shape fill to accent green, lighter 60%. The last thing we want to do is we want to modify these bins or the ranges of income that are being used in our income. It is called bins in a histogram chart. So we're going to click on this axis and then double click on it to open up the formatting pane. Once you see this option, you want to make sure that Access Options is selected and Access Options is opened up so that you can see the options here. The current bin width is $9,700. So every $9,700, it creates a new bin or a new column. I want to change that. So I'm going to click on bin width, and I'm going to change the number from 9,700 up to 20,000. And then tab to get out of that field. And you can see that it changed the number of bins as well as how much of a range of income was being included in each of those. So I'm going to go ahead and close this formatting pane. And that completes our histogram chart. So the next chart we're going to look at is also another statistical chart, and it's called a Pareto chart. So again, the data for this chart is over on market data. This time, what we're looking at for this chart are the factors used when buying. So we are going to select the range H5 through I8. Then we're going to go to the Insert tab, and we're going to choose again the Statistic Chart option. We're going to choose the second one here that says Pareto. I'm going to move this chart over to the Market Summary worksheet, but instead of using cut and paste this time, I'm going to use the Move Chart button. And I'm going to move it as an object in Market Summary. Now I want this chart to begin in F16 and go through M26. So I'm going to get the cross with the arrows, hold down the mouse and drag it to F16. Then I'm able to resize using the resizing handles, again, either on the corners or the sides. And I'm going to make it end in M26. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my chart title. We're going to call this Factors in Buying. And then we're going to format this chart so that it will look similar to the one above it. So you're going to highlight the data in the title. You're going to change it to Calibre Light. Then change the color to the green accent 6, darker 25%. Again, we're going to click in that plot area, go to our Format tab, confirm that the current selection says Plot Area, and change the shape fill to white background 1. Clicking in the chart area, confirming that it says Chart Area as our current selection, and then changing that shape fill to green accent 6, lighter 60%. I'm going to save our work. This now completes those two charts. As you can see by looking at the Insert tab, there are numerous charts available. Each button has many options that are associated with it. So as you're working with charts, play around with the different types to find what is going to represent your data in the best way and make the point visible that you are trying to get across. You can see there are waterfall charts, there are hierarchical charts. One thing that I really like about the new versions of Excel is they have this option here called recommended charts, and we've used that a couple of times. But when you select your data, if you choose the recommended charts option, then it will show you some different ways of representing your data, and you can choose from one of those the one that you think makes the point that you're trying to get across. The last couple of videos within this Module 4 are going to look at a form of conditional formatting, and they're also going to look at spark lines.